It's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I have a homework assignment for you. Go out into nature and find you a gnarled little piece of branch, something that you can use for the next project. And the next project's going to be a hanging tree. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on a piece of stick. I'm going to put that stick on a piece of game board piece, like a game board section that I cut out. And then I'm going to just work some roots down onto the ground to make it gnarled and ugly. That's also going to give it some extra support. Okay, I'm going to let that hold for a minute. I'm going to let it cool. Now I want my hanging tree to be dead. You might not, so keep that in mind as you're looking at your sticks, or if you want to put foliage on it or anything. I want mine to be kind of like not dead, or not alive, so. We're just waiting on that glue to cool. Okay, looks like it's pretty cool. I'm going to get some super glue. Well, first, before I do that, I'm going to make these roots look rough by just rubbing my gun down along them and giving them some like texture. And I just don't want them to look super boring. You don't have to put a whole lot of effort into that. I am going to get some super glue though, because I don't want this to move. Okay, so I'm going to get some super glue, and I'm going to run it in between those roots, just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to sprinkle some baking soda on them. Just sturdy this thing up. Okay. Now it lives here permanently. Yeah, it's going nowhere. Now we want this to be a dead tree, and I understand that. You understand that. We all understand that. So let's get something to put some sand down. So let me get a plastic tray. Here we go. And this is Mod Podge with paint in it. And I'm going to add a little dab of rubbing alcohol to it. I'm going to stir that up. I'm going to splatter that around on my base here. And I'm going to use that to kind of glue some sand to this. And I'm just going to use pool filter sand. Or maybe I'll use rough sand. I don't know yet. Since I do plan on painting this whole piece, I might just use some rough sand. When I say rough sand, a lot of you would probably call it like play sand or construction sand. Pool filter sand is all kind of like the same size. This stuff is not. Oh, but since I have pool filter sand with a cup in it already, oh, never mind. There's a cup in both. All right, this is sand from the beach. It's all different sizes. It's a construction grade sand. Though I didn't get it at a construction site or a construction store. I did get it at the beach, literally. And now we have a nice texture on here to help us with our journey. I'm going to get this sand cleaned up and pour it back in the bin. Alright, so we want our tree to look as good and natural as possible. And we do want to do minimum amount of painting on the base. You can't paint it right now, obviously, because it's got Mod Podge on there and it's not going to be dry. So you have to come back and do it. But what you can do is you can be a cheater. So on low heat, I'm just going to blow any loose sand out. Okay, just like that. Then I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and some Dollar Tree deep brown paint and some water. Yeah, a lot of steps. I'm going to use a dirty brush from my paint cup, my water cup, which is also dirty. And I'm going to make a really thin, like soy sauce kind of texture, just like that. And I'm going to try to see if I can soak it all in and save myself a step. I'm just taking my time. I'm not pushing hard at all. I'm just dabbing. Okay. All right, let's see how much more we can cheat about this and get it done without waiting. I need a little bit more water in here. I need a little bit more of that brown paint. Oh, more paint than I wanted. I had to add quite a bit of water to make that work. I'll get a little bit of rubbing alcohol in there too. That'll get it to dry faster. We won't do that. All right, so we want this to be really thin, like soy sauce. This isn't quite that thin, but it's pretty thin. If you don't like soy sauce, you can make yours as thin as Worcestershire sauce or whatever you want. It's your craft. Do it your way. I'm going to get some khaki colored paint now. And I'm going to do my fake painted desert kind of design here. I'm going to get some of this. I'm just going to dab it around in there. Add some color. Some different capacity. I lost my rag. Here we go. Okay. And that's going to dry to look like a painted desert kind of look, I'm sure. I hope. So for the tree itself, I don't really want to paint it too much. I do want to darken it up. So a wash would be an easy way to handle that. But I don't want to get a bunch of wash on my base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some wash. And I'm going to get a brush. I'm going to lightly darken up my hanging tree. I'm not going to put a lot on here, okay? I'm just going to dab it and soak it in lightly and slowly, covering everything instead of, hear the sand falling off there? That's what's happening. That's sand washing off the side. Okay. That's okay. It can be cleaned up. Okay. There we go. Get it covered pretty good. Let's get this cleaned up because I'm making a big ass mess. It's not an ass mess. It's a paint mess. A paint and sand mess. Okay. Now my tree should be looking pretty dark at this point. My base is going to take a while to dry, but it's going to dry. It's going to be firm and solid, and it's going to have texture. We need a hanging rope on this tree for sure, and I think we need a little bit of like random green shit on the tree too. Where's for my random green shit? We're going to get this here. This is called English ivy. We're going to get a really tiny brush that can hold water. Then we're going to aim for some of these spots here that have this kind of lichen looking shit on it. Then any spots we missed where it's a little bit white still, like the edge of branches and the edge of broken branches and stuff, we're going to put it there. Okay. Now for our rope. The easiest thing to use would be twine. I do want to be able to hang miniatures off it, but I don't want to put that kind of effort into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the edge of my twine here. There's the edge of it. And this twine is not the best color for this. So let's get a pair of scissors. And the first thing we'll do is we'll make our lasso, our noose. Okay. So we're going to make it a little bit cartoony and big because we want it to stick. So to do that, I'm going to fold this over, and I'm just going to get a tiny dab of glue right there to hold that. And then I'm going to let that sit for a moment. Pull that down with my thumb. It might be a little bit hot. It won't kill you. Okay. And then I'm going to start wrapping this slowly around till it looks like a noose. And you got to keep this tight while you do it. Okay. Once you get it around there, get your last little bit of string, little dab of glue, and fold it over and let it sit for a minute. Okay, just like that. And we'll strip off the excess string if I can find some scissors that will cut. Where's Doug Marcato when you need him? Doug, will this cut? No, this ain't cutting shit. Okay, and I don't care how perfect that looks, it just needs to look like a noose. Okay, and so for the hanging tree portion here, we want this to be kind of straight and nice, but we didn't do anything to prep it for that. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do some fancy shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the tree, we're going to loop it around once while this is still wet. Okay, just like that. We'll pull it tight, get a dab of glue in the middle there, and we'll glue the rope to itself. So I'm going to hold that down. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. I'm going to hold that down, pull that around one time, 2 times, and then I'm going to snip that off. All right, my noose needs to come back around again so it's off the ground. Just like that. And we want it to hang down. So to make it hang down, I'm going to get my wash. And we're going to add some weight to it. Okay. So we're going to get it wet. The whole rope. And we're going to add some weight to it too, don't forget. Okay. Spin this around so I can see the back side. Okay. And I want that to dry that way. So we need something heavy enough to stick in there that it'll keep it tight and down. And I think the secret thing to use would be a miniature. But I don't want to get a miniature nasty. So what I'm going to do is I have some sculpting tools that I don't really use. I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get the weight. I'm going to get it angled down to how I want it. Okay. Nice and tight so it's holding it. And then I'm going to get some glue up here. I'm going to let that drip and dry and soak in, and that's going to hold my noose in place. Okay? And when this all dries, I'm going to let it sit for a while and dry. When it dries, it should be right. It should be good. So I'm going to leave it go. And we'll come back and check it out another time. So anyways, that's how I'm making my hanging man tree. You can make yours how you want. You could use different rope or whatever you got. I'm not super happy with the rope that I have. I should have used my other rope that was way better. But I didn't. That's what I used. So please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and leave a comment and all that stuff that you need to do. And make fun of the video I made of the blue ox. Feel free to make fun of it. It looks like a dumb cow. But it was an attempt at a blue ox for my game, and I needed one. And my party won't complain as much as some of our viewers. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.